Hello redesigners, Nikki from Gracie's house here. I'm coming to you today. I'm back in the workshop. It's the second week of the kids being back at school and I'm loving it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving it. So I hope you're all really well. And as I said, I'm Nikki from Gracie's house. I'm a brand ambassador for Redesign with Prima. Today I'm going to be working with two transfers. One is from the Maisie and Willow Collection. So let me show you what we're going to be working with first. This one is called Vintage Belle. So you can see the design here. And a couple of days ago I did look up what that meant. And I think it's something along the lines of the beauties and spirits inspire us all. Something along those lines. So just cute. And the Maisie and Willow transfers, they're slightly smaller. So this one measures 16.5 inches by 20.5 inches. So a little bit smaller than the smaller of the main range. But these are now available with your retailers as well. So when they were originally launched, it's my understanding that it was kind of a only on Amazon. These are now available with retailers. So that's the one that you can see here, and layered underneath I'm going to go with Vintage Dream, one of my classic favourites. I can't help it. I love layering up stencils and I love all the florals. So this is what we've got underneath. I have pre-cut it today just because again I just wanted to make sure everything fit. I wanted to get my layout right. I've got some extras cut here. If we get time, we're going to go on the side and I'll show you what details I've done on the side. So this is painted in Paint Couture Charlotte Grey, which is a beautiful, it's almost not a grey. It's like a real whisper of colour. So it's a very pretty pale, it's not there colour. And of course, the injection of colour has come from Plums and Roses from the CC Restyled Remix collection. And I mean, awesome colour. So I just felt like these colours were going to sit back really nicely with the florals in the Vintage Dreams. So let me take this piece off. This is a slightly smaller piece of furniture anyway. But this Maisie and Willow transfer just is the perfect size. So I was very pleased when I was perusing which transfers to work with. So this is the, I'm going to just pop the camera up a bit so you can see the whole piece. So this has just got 3 drawers. This is the layout that I'm going for with the florals. I'm hoping it's going to work once we've layered the Maisie and Willow on over the top. So I'm just going to get cracking. Let's get those paints out of the way. So I've always got my normal wooden stick that comes in with the tubes, and I've also got my transfer tool, and you'll watch me, I interchange with these all the time. So I'm going to start with this pink one here. So as you can see, I've kind of layered them, and when you're cutting up transfers and you're placing particularly these florals where you're going to have to overlap them a little bit, you just need to think about in what order you're going to add them. Because what you don't want to do is stick that one down first, for example, and then go over the top with the pink, and you'll lose the foliage and the little buds. Those will get hidden, unless that's what you want. So just bear in mind, if you're building a floral bouquet or if you're overlapping, just bear in mind you need to think about the order in which you're placing them. So again, down here, that one will be underneath. So that this one overlaps that. Just as well, because those ones are so big, I kind of want to break those ones up a little bit. That's how my mind works anyway. You do what you want at the end of the day. This is how it works best for me. So I'm going to pop that one there. Just so I've got a little bit of overlap. I'm going to take the tape off. So this is a bit of an unusual, the way these drawers sit. Oops, the way these drawers sit. So they're flush to the frame, but they're not flush to the piece at the back. So I'm kind of just having to wing it on that bit and just see how it's going to work. I'm going to obviously cut through here, but I might just I might just trim that section off. Oh, I've got my scissors. Oh, where have I put my scissors? I only had them earlier. I'm going to have to use my knife in a minute. We'll do that in a second. Let's get going. So, again, each piece of furniture is individual, and you know, like I've just said, it's you have to make these decisions as you go along sometimes. So I will probably cut that off, and I don't think I'm going to put it here. You might choose you want to do that, and again, that's really down to how you envisage your piece looking finished, and personal preference. Really, you know, there is no right or wrong in that respect. I'm just going to stand up and go over here. Normally I'm sat on the floor. It feels quite odd to be stood up or sat on a stool instead. I'm looking for my scissors. If they're there. Nope. So as I said, I'm using Paint Couture here, and I have to say, where it gives you such a smooth finish, the transfers do go on very, very nicely. Really smooth finish. So if I get time, which we should do, we'll add some extra details on the sides as well, and I'll show you what I've done just for a bit more interest on the sides. What I might do is just, if I can pull that drawer out, yeah, might just tuck that in and fold it underneath. So I'm just going to do my cut here. Get that in there. There we go. So I've done several of these lately. You just follow the line of the drawer. I'm just going to pull that out and wrap that round there. So don't forget to burnish nicely. Do you know what? I'm going to bring the camera in a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing a bit. Whoopsie. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. There we go. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So yeah, so when we say burnish, a thumb, a finger, I've got or a microfiber cloth I find works really well, just to make sure everything's nice and smooth. None of the edges are lifting. No air bubbles. You can usually hear if you've got any air bubbles, so I can tell that there's nothing there, which is good. So I'm just going to pop that drawer back in, give it a little bit of persuasion. And then this was the next piece down here. No, it wasn't. I'm going to do this piece first. Was going to go like that, and I lift you up a little bit so that I'm not losing any view down below. And also the other thing that I always think is think about flowers, that the way flowers work in nature. So roses tend to, you know, they don't droop, so they open and they face upwards. Some flowers are naturally facing down, so just think what those kinds of flowers that you're going to be working with, how they would be in nature. Let's go about there, so that they'll work. You know, okay, these aren't photographic images, but you want it to have a kind of realistic feeling. You know, imagine when you get a bouquet of flowers, and the ones that are facing up and the ones that flop a little bit because they're supposed to. fold that one over a little bit on the top there, so we're not losing any. So those of you that may have been confused about the times for this live session, just where parts of the US have had a clock change, haven't you guys, over the weekend, and we haven't. Ours happens at the end of March. So in a couple of weeks, it will be back to kind of the normal time of 8 AM. But I think for some of you, it used to be 8, and for a couple of weeks, it's going to be 9 AM. If I've got my facts right, which could be entirely wrong. Who knows? I think I'm right. So just keep rubbing as you lift your top sheet. And then, where's my cloth? There it is. And then burnish that one. When you're doing separate pieces, I think it's probably easier to burnish each piece as you go along when you're overlapping, because you don't want to, you want to make sure each bit is nice and finished off, I think. Okay, and then we're going to overlap this piece onto there like that. Let's get rid of about there. So I'm not too worried about, as I said, a little bit overlapping here. I'm gonna have to cut here. I've kind of got no choice. Some like I said, it's a strange configuration that it does not, the whole thing isn't flush, but you've got to work with what you've got. And I sort of thought these sort of the grey tones in this transfer have got a very, very small hint towards purples. Hence, I picked the plums and roses to go with the grey. So I'm just going to cut along, I think actually I'm going to go about there. And then I'm going to go here. So I'm just losing that section for a minute. What I might do is just put that onto a backing sheet in case I decide to use it, but I don't think so, because I'm just going to fold that around there. So these tools are quite handy when you need to get in to any kind of nooks and crannies. They've got these kind of corners and edges and things that help with those. There we go. A tiny little bit there. There we go. Better. Let's just cut down there. So, say hello if you haven't already. Say hello as you come along, where you're watching from. Kind of dive right in without having much of a chat. And what are you up to? Are you having a good day so far? Is it super early in the morning, so you can't really say whether it's going to be a good day or not? And when you do, if you've done a few transfers, or like, do you pick your transfer first and then your paint colour? Do you pick it all together? Do you pick your paint colour first and then work on what transfer will sit with that? How does your process work? You might find if you're layering that you have to work ever so slightly harder on rubbing when it's layered, but not so much that it's a real issue. You can see there, I'm really not having to do too much more extra work where it overlaps. I'm just wondering if I'm missing comments. Ros, if you're still there, I think you're still there. I haven't seen any comment yet, so I don't know if we've got our age-old comment issue, but I haven't seen anything yet. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I cannot see a thing. I can see that it looks like Ros keeps coming in and out, but I don't know if that's a glitch as well. So if you have commented and I can't see it, I will go along afterwards and I will check everything. Reply to anything that hasn't been replied to. And also this burnishing really, really helps with the halo. You'll find it's pretty much goes away with proper burnishing. Oh, I've missed that top piece, look at that. Let's just get that off there. Forgot that was up there, that layered part. I do love the delicacy of the colours in this transfer. I love the bright ones as well. I love them all, but I do quite like the, as I said, the delicate sort of colours in this one. Yeah, I still can't. Yeah, I think we've probably got a commenting issue today. Don't know why. Thought we've got it sussed. Never mind. We can catch up later. Lovely. Okay, one more for down here. So this is this other cluster. You see that one okay? Let's just move it over a little bit. There we go, that's better. Hi Marina, I can see some comments. Yay! Sometimes it just takes a while for everything to pull through, I think. Facebook catches up and goes, oh yeah, you're live. We better show you some comments. And I think I'm going to just pop that cluster like that with a little tip up. Oh, maybe like that. I quite like that. There we go. Yay! Marina, you were the first comment I saw. So if anyone's interested and you've not already kind of found yourself a retailer, there's links in my description so you can go straight to finding a retailer. If you don't want to do that, there's also a link, my affiliate link, that you can buy through. That's up there as well. So you don't have to worry about kind of coming away and finding where to buy. We're showing you straight from the post description. Heather, it's pretty, isn't it, this one? I put this on my wellies and they're holding up really well, you know. If anyone saw, just before Christmas, before it was due to be lockdown, before we went back into lockdown, I painted my wellies and put Vintage Dream on them. And they're doing really well, actually. Because they've got that rubber backing, the rubber sort of material, we also put some on Gracie's ones that are a bit more plasticky. Didn't work. Joan, your Prima box arrives today. Oh, how exciting. How exciting. What did you order, Joan? What have you got coming? Did you have to seal them? Laurie, you seal these transfers after you've done everything that you need to do. So we don't need... Oh, sorry, you're talking about the wellies, aren't you? I've just realised. I did. I've put wax over them. I can't remember. It must have been it was probably Dixie Belle wax, or yeah, I think so. And I also used a bit of Eternal Decor wax. I know the wellies. Yeah, I also used the Decor wax to zhuzh them up a little bit as well. Marina, you've got a chrome kitchen aid. Oh, nice. Yes. This would look lovely on chrome. Yeah. Okay, so that's that side kind of cluster. I'm going to pop the camera back a bit, tilt you back up a bit, make sure you're not wobbly woos. And let's get this one stuck down. Yeah, Gracie's wellies it didn't work. The glue went gooey. So I think it's something to do with the plastic finish rather than rubber. Transfers and moulds mostly, the transfer tool, and oh yeah, rollers, good. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of overlapping. I might just pop it down a tiny bit so I'm not losing too much of the leaves at the top. I don't mind too much that I've got a bit of a gap here. It's not bothering me too much. So I'm going to do the same principle over on this side. But we'll get the majority of it stuck down first. This transfer is Vintage Dream. And I'm also going to be layering over another one, which once I've done this flower, I can show you that one again as well. Oh, Ros, did I maybe I answered, I assume I got the question right. There's so many lovely floral ones. It is difficult to keep track, even for us that use them all the time. Okay, so I'm going to do the same as I did here. So I'm going to cut along the top drawer, and then this one I'm going to cut a little bit higher so it will fold over the top. So I'm going to go about here to give me a bit to fold over, and then I'm going to come here because I can feel the bottom edge of that drawer. Go like that. And then I'm just going to cut there as well. There we go, cut that little bit out. Oh, and I need to do it. You've had watercolour bloom on your mind. Do you know what? It is another favourite. I think they're all favourites. Have you got a favourite? What's everyone's favourite? Rosie's, what's your favourite? You love this one, Barb. I love this one. And I do like Beautiful Things as well. Like I said, I don't know if there's any of the floral ones I don't like. I'm going to use my little tool to get around that nook there. There we go. Hard question. Ooh. It is a hard question. I don't know if I could say one favourite. Because also it depends what furniture, what kind of style you're doing. Yeah, you're right, it's too hard. I don't think I can give you one favourite. I don't think I could. Oh, I tell it, Vintage Dream, Deborah, and Watercolour Bloom. Yeah, really, they're really pretty, aren't they? Really pretty. I'm quite excited to see how this is going to look with the other one layered over, because it's so difficult when you're trying to imagine how they layer because of the backing sheets. So you've kind of got to take a leap of faith almost, I guess. I mean, we know they're all nice, but it's how they'll look layered. And I guess that's where us as the design team come in, to kind of give you those ideas or inspire you and do the testing for you almost. Just get that top tiny little bit of leaf there that's overlapping at the top. Top 5. Go on then, Roz. Top 5. Now you've got yourself in there, haven't you? What's your top 5? No pressure. So you see what I mean about the kind of the very, very subtle purples that pull through in the kind of grey, the greyer toned flowers. Watercolour Bloom, Vintage Dream, Rose and Rouge, Rose Celebration, and the bird one. Postal Birds or Blossom Flight? You use the lace stamp first and then applied Vintage Dream. Oh, lovely. That sounds really pretty. I've been very much into the raised stencil with the icing paste recently, so I thought I'd take a break from it on this one. Blossom Flight. Yeah, I like Blossom Flight too. And I do like Elegance and Flowers. Is that right? Elegance and Flowers, the one with the cranes. Oh, I do like that. Okay, so that's that one. Let's go to our vintage... Oh, crikey, I've forgotten. Vintage Belle. I should remember, that's my daughter's middle name. The Vintage Belle from the Maisie and Willow Collection. So we're layering this over the top and it fits so perfectly. The pearly icing paste. Laurie, I know, I'm a little bit addicted. So I've had to tell myself that the next lot of raised stenciling I do, I'm going to have to pick a different colour. I've got to. Okay, so I'm going, it's kind of perfect. There's a tiny bit of overlap on the edge of the drawers, but apart from that, I mean, that's great. A great fit, isn't it? So let's just get on in there. I'm going to take the masking tape off. If you are using tape to kind of plan your design, just be careful when you're be careful when you're then reapplying. So if you've done one piece and then you're overlapping, because if you were to do that and stick your masking tape over the transfer, oh, you don't want that to pull your transfer up. So just be mindful of that. I've done it. Okay. So I don't even have to do a great deal of lining up, I don't think. It's kind of there. Go there, go there. That looks good, eh? I think so. There. It's done now. I think the camera's wonky. Yeah, the camera's a bit wonky, Woos. There we go. Okay. And what I might do on this one, actually, is cut through and stick it on the runner through the middle. It's looking cute, isn't it? Like I said, the things that you think about as you go along, like the words, you know, the words are always going to hit the bit you don't want them to hit. You've just got to work around those and not see it as a problem. Just going to stand back and have a look. Oh, pretty. No, I don't want to lose the words. No, you're right. It was one of those that I couldn't shift it up. It had to fall where it fell. But just the size of the overall piece was so perfect for the piece of furniture. The size of the transfer, sorry, was so perfect for the drawers. Sometimes you just got to take a hit somewhere. You like this one, Nicoletta? Thank you. Cut there. Don't need to cut here because it's not overlapping. I'm going to find that bottom edge and I'm going to run that along there as carefully as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the bottom edge and hope it doesn't stick to anything. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to just peel that off of there and detach it, take that out, and I'm going to stick it on the backing sheet just for a minute while I finish the rest. Get the, on the backing sheet, but I'm going to finish this top sheet part and then we'll apply that other piece that I've just cut out. Lovely. Oh, it's a really pretty one. I got a few of these Maisie and Willow ones in my last order. And they're really nice actually. I mean, of course they're nice. Of course they're going to be nice. But I like the designs. Just using the corner of the tool to get over that lip, just to get them stuck down so they don't lift. Edges, make sure those edges are down. Just going to finish off this side and then we can move to that top piece. There's me thinking we were going to get a chance to do the edge, and I don't know if we will do. The sides, I mean. Oh, it's lovely. It's a lovely clean, although it's a vintagey finish, it's a real nice clean finish. Yeah. And so far I'm liking where it layers with the florals. I think that looks rather nice as well. What are you thinking so far? I love this ornate panel in the middle here. Really transferring off nicely. It's lovely, Roz, isn't it? I'm just going to cross over to this side and hope that I don't get my head in the way while I'm going to concentrate. Luscious. Of course, I want everything I see in this shop. I know, that is the problem. It's just too, well, it's lovely to have the choice, but you just do want one of everything. Okay, so I'm going to just do that piece that we cut out of the middle, just so that I can show you how, in this instance, I'm going to do that. So I think that's pretty well lined up. And again, oopsie, that didn't want to stick, did it? That was lucky. You've kind of just got to work with what you can, because not every piece of furniture is perfect. We're buying furniture, you know, it's not brand new. It's not all straight lines and perfect. So we've kind of got to just work with how you can. I'm going to get the little, oh, I'm going to use this one in here because it's just a bit smaller and it will get in there easier. Very addictive, yeah. Very, very addictive. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. Even to the point where I will be sitting at home, you know, of an evening, and my brain's kind of thinking, constantly thinking, what can I put a transfer on? What colour can I use for that transfer? Constantly. Doesn't stop. Okay. So there is a little bit of that I'm going to have to wrap around when I take the drawers out. So just remember that it will look tidier once I can pull the drawers out and wrap it round. Switch sides again. I think I've missed a question there, but it looks like Roz has answered. About painting transfers by the looks of it. Yes, you can. Okay. Let's get the bottom piece done. How are we doing for time? We're okay. There we go. Let's take that off. Just tuck those bits up to wrap them under where the drawer frame is. And those bits there as well. How many times have I messed up a transfer while applying? Do you know what? Probably only once or twice. But then I'm probably slow as well, and then usually because I kind of take my time, I can generally fix things. But you know, we all have transfers kind of curl up on us and stuff. There we go. Oh, pretty. Loving it. Love it. But don't forget, you know, this is, there's not many days I don't put a transfer on something. So you do speed up with kind of more experience and stuff. And it'll be down to also all paints generally of the crafty chalk paint world kind of thing. Or you can put transfers on all of those kind of paints. Some will be friendlier than others. Some you'll have to work just a little bit harder to go on top of. So the paint I've got here is quite a smooth finished paint. So well, it's a very smooth finished paint. So the transfer's going on nicely, really nicely. And that's not to say they don't go on nicely on all kinds of paint. Again, it's just some will be easier than others. And that's all. Oh, loving that. It's really quite delicate but bold at the same time, this vintage Belle, the Maisie Willow one. It's really lovely, actually. Helen, hello, hello. It is pretty. It is, I really like this one. Oh gosh, I've got another favourite. That won't do. So I'm just going to do the same here. Whoops, uh-oh. Went wonky. It's because I sat down, I think. Over here, as I did, that's better. That'll still work. Oh, it keeps going wonky on that line. This doesn't want to follow the edge of the drawer, strangely. There we go, that's a bit better. Out of the way and stick it on a backing sheet again, like we did before, so that I can use and finish that piece off in a minute. Okay, let's get going and finish this piece. Didn't want to stick for a second. Mistake there. See, that's because I was too busy looking over here. When you've got letters, it's good to kind of keep an eye on as you're lifting the top sheet. So I've lost a bit of the end there, but I can. The great thing is you can just go along and fill with some acrylic paints or something later, or you know, paint pens if you've got some really fine finished paint pens. At least you haven't got to worry about matching colour, particularly when it's just a black text. And there is some artistic people that I've seen that do some amazing stuff when they need to extend a transfer a little bit, and they use acrylic paints. Okay. Let's just wrap that piece under there. Gone. There it is. Let's just get rid of that piece. Oh. You've Googled the translation, beautiful spirits inspire others. Okay, that's slightly better than the one I came up with. Maybe I put one of the spellings in wrong, probably. It is lovely, isn't it? is a lovely sentiment. Nice. So I think we can get this piece done, and I might get one side. I might get to show you one side. Not that I've done anything particularly groundbreaking on the sides, but it's just to show you what I've done. Ta-da. So instead of using out what we've got left to fill this gap in, I'm going to turn it round. All things newly rustic. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm going to do my best to, which side should we go? Let's go this side. You know what? It doesn't really matter. Sorry, I'm going to make noise now. Little bit of noise. Turning it round. There we go, that'll do. That will do. I'll move the camera, that makes it easier. So can you see, I have it, oh look, you can see the really messy part of the workshop, sorry. So can you see, I've got some really, really subtle stripes. So I've done that by taping off, and I've used champagne glaze from Paint Couture. So it's just, I applied it and I wiped it back. So it's very, very subtle. So from the, you know, the light catches it. Really pretty. Hi Charlie, hi Sam. And part of the Vintage Dream transfer set are these, there's one of these and one of those. It's more like a, you know, more like a whole sprig of roses. So I kind of thought they would look cute on the sides with these shadowy type of stripes. So in the last 7 or so minutes, I'm just going to pop that on there. So I just think it looked cute. Now these two aren't equal sizes, so the one on the other side won't have any overlap. This one's going to have some overlap. So be it. I did the stripes yesterday, so the glaze has had a good kind of overnight to dry, so all that should be fine. And then I'm going to just get my corner, my edge, to get into that piece there. And that's why I love this tool, because when you've got a little crease like that, you can really push into it with your tool. And then I'm going to use my lolly stick for the rest of it, just because it's a bit smaller. So just switch over, sorry guys. Do the same over here. Doesn't want to stick. No, it doesn't want to. There we go. Sometimes you just have to persevere a little bit. I'm going to go back over this side, because I'm a righty, and it, oh, I've scratched my paintwork. Oh, clumsy. I probably could have got away with that and not told you anything. Not sure how much you saw. Never mind. It's me being too heavy-handed with, and I slipped off the top. I slipped off the top sheet. Never mind. So you see they apply just as well over the glaze as they do over a paint finish. So, and I know that mostly we use glaze to kind of sit into details and things. Roz, it's not funny. And yeah, so glazes we tend to use more for kind of sitting in details and highlighting things. But because it's so pretty, I just thought I'd quite fancy trying it as stripes. Oh, having a bit of a nightmare over there. It's done well here. Just doesn't want to stick to that bit. I'm wondering whether there's a bit of glaze there that's not. Queen Nikki, goodness me. I've got a feeling actually what I've done there is maybe the glaze isn't 100% dry, perhaps. So I'm going to leave that bit for now and go to another piece. Work at that piece from another angle. Only got a few more minutes left. I don't think I'm going to get this finished in time. Right, a couple of pieces that are just really giving me some grief there. Lovely. I think what I might do is just pause, just do a recap of what we've done, and because I know I'm not going to get that done in the next couple of minutes. No. Okay, so just so that you, I was hoping to show you the handles that I'm working on as well, but it's all going to be a big surprise then, isn't it, when... It will be a huge surprise. Let me move that as well. When I photograph it. So the main floral is the Vintage Dream, and the black frame. Let's just go back over here. Sorry. There we go. The black frame there is the Vintage Belle from the Maisie and Willow range. You've got your first ever transfer coming tomorrow. Now I'm making you nervous. Oh no, Sophia, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We've kind of run out of time, and I don't. There might be someone else coming on after me, so I don't want to overstep my slot. There's an intro later on this afternoon for me, later on this morning for you guys, where you'll get to meet all the brand ambassadors, and we'll talk to you about when we go live. So if you want to catch up with us all later, that would be awesome. As I said, all the links are up in the top in the description. If you haven't already, pop over and drop my page some love. I'm Nikki from Gracie's House. And if you've not watched live and you're watching on catch up, just drop a hashtag replay in the comments for me. And I'll catch you all again this time next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.